Ace Combat 7 is pretty much the only real flight simulator available on the PlayStation 4 at the moment, apart from the prequel, which is available when you get it with this game, assuming you don't count stuff like War Thunder, which is just player versus player stuff. This has a strong campaign with 20 missions, each of which is given to you with a rare cool briefing screen that reminds me of XCOM, which is what I wanted to show a little bit of here before I jump into the actual game itself. But the dialogue is all very well done. It's kind of a mediocre story at times because it jumps into some weird stuff and some side characters who you don't really interact with that much. But the actual dialogue for your mission briefings, the people who communicate with you during fights and during sorties, are all very well written. Like, a lot of the stuff they talk about is kind of nonsense in the same way EDF is, but they all have so much heart that it's a lot more fun than you might think. The game has a rather extensive aircraft tree, which we're going to briefly dip into here just to show off that there are lots and lots of things to unlock, because there's a lot of planes in this game. There's a lot of planes in most Ace Combat games, but there's a lot of planes in this. And new to this is also the ability to purchase things like parts for your planes to be able to customize them further, to be able to do stuff like increase your aircraft top speed somewhat by purchasing these parts and then equipping them on your planes before sorties. We're going to dive straight into a dogfight just to show you how the gameplay works. We can jump in the F-22. I'm going to bring some anti-air missiles. We've already got some custom parts equipped here for things like improved maneuverability and speed. But we're going to go ahead and just jump in. There's quite a lot of customization options for planes, which is rather nice because, you spend a lot of your time in them. And if you've played any Ace Combat game before over the years, when the last couple were on PS2 and Xbox 360, then you probably already have a vague idea of how this plays. It's one of those games that looks bad to watch, but is really, really fun to play. Mostly because of the fact that when you're watching it, it mostly just looks like people chasing after square boxes. We'll skip past the refueling this time, but there's also little mini games involving refueling and landing. So, new to this game, clouds. The power of the cloud in the next generation. I'm sorry. Clouds reduce visibility. They also reduce the ability of your missile to lock onto targets. So if you're being chased by people, you can dive into the clouds for cover. If you stay in them too long, you'll start to ice up and freeze, which will reduce your maneuverability. Already starting with missiles, huh? If you get close enough, you've got machine guns you can use, though they're kind of tricky to hit with until you get good, which I'm not. But yeah, you see how the enemies in the radar on the bottom left have got little red outlines. That indicates that they're mission targets. Destroying all of them will generally progress the mission on to the next phase or to the end. There's often secondary targets that appear in white, which you can destroy just for more score, get you more currency to spend on upgrading your planes with parts and unlocking new ones. You can also change your perspective if you want to have the in-cockpit view, which is lovingly detailed. Or you can go third person if you want to see all the cool vector effects that happen on your plane as you pass through clouds and perform fast turns and stuff like that. It's a game that doesn't look very pretty when you think about it because you're mostly just looking at these boxes and tracking them down, but there's a lot of really nice effects in it that make it really, really pleasant to look at. And it has a solid frame rate. I can't say I saw the frame rate dip even once across the entire campaign. The whole campaign took about 10 hours to finish on the normal difficulty level. There are another 4 difficulty levels or so, each of which has their own challenges. There's ace pilots to meet by triggering challenges inside each mission by accomplishing goals such as doing missions incredibly quickly, getting incredibly high score in the kind of freeform missions, stuff like that. And there's also multiplayer, which you can do with either up to 8 players free-for-all, or teams of 2v2, 3v3 and 4v4, which I've actually played a good amount of with Matt and Joe, and is surprisingly good fun, because it turns out that dogfighting is even better when you're up against real people, because it makes it even more satisfying when you shoot them down. Also worth noting is that the soundtrack is phenomenal. The Ace Combat games have always had good tunes, but this one has probably one of the better soundtracks in the whole series, and the multiplayer uses soundtracks from the previous games as well, which is fantastic if you've played through. The story itself has a lot of nostalgia and references and a lot of love for the older games. and I'm really excited to see where the series goes from here. But yeah, if you like flying planes and shooting things down, then honestly I cannot recommend this game enough. I mean, it's only January, but I can safely say it's the best game I've played this year, at least until Resident Evil comes out next week. But yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. And if you do enjoy games where you fly planes, then you'll enjoy this one. Oh yeah, there's also some really, really stupid stuff like this. It's an aircraft carrier. That fires unmanned drones in huge numbers. I have a little statue of this because I got the special edition. So yeah, that'll probably do it for his combat review. Seedge says bye because my word is really good. But yeah, I recommend this game. I'll probably do.